Actually, one time, here's a small little story. Hello and welcome to Asia Now. My name is Alex, and in this video, I'll tell you about an American man punched his live-in partner and a female bystander in the Philippines. Two foreigners arrested for black money scams. Philippines Vice President Sara Duterte impeached. U.S. President Donald Trump signs executive order banning trans in competing in female sports, plus much more, beginning with our USD to peso exchange rate. Right now, $1 equal to about 58 pesos. Here's our main story. A 41-year-old American national is detained at the Abalana police station and is facing a complaint of slight physical injuries after allegedly dragged by the hair and punched his 28-year-old live-in partner in the face for allegedly stealing grocery money from him in Barangay Sabang 2 at past 8 p.m. on February 5th. A 49-year-old female bystander who tried to intervene was also punched and elbowed in the face by an American, causing her to faint. Police later arrived to arrest the American, who, as of the posting, remained detained at the police station. Whoa, looks like things got heated up and this person lost his cool, and not something you want to do when you're either living or traveling, visiting a different country. So, I would never want to be in a situation where I'm coming up against the law in a foreign land. Next up, two Liberian nationals were arrested in Quezon City, Philippines for allegedly running a black dollar scam, defrauding a businesswoman of 1.86 million pesos. The suspect, identified as George and Johnson, were caught in a police entrapment operation at the hotel. Authorities seized counterfeit US dollar bills, chemicals, and other materials used in the scam. The suspects now face charges for fraud and possession of fake currency. Officials warn the public to be cautious of scam promising large sums of money. Yeah, so you got to be careful whenever you're making any kind of transactions. If it's large enough, you got to get that wired. I feel like, in my opinion, just because you want to have like a record of who you sent the money to, if anything happens, I think you might have a little bit more legal recourse when it comes to making large purchases. If you're doing it through the banks, large sums of money can be dangerous as well. We've heard many stories, several stories in the past year at least, people losing even, they're no longer alive because of, money involved, land and all that stuff. So keep that in mind. I don't know what the details of the scam was and how these two men were able to get a woman to basically exchange 1.86 million pesos, but I'm glad they're caught. Next up, quickly, in a political shockwave in the Philippines, House Representatives have voted to impeach Vice President Sara Duterte over corruption allegations and claims she threatened to assassinate the president, Mr. Marcos. The impeachment passed with 215 votes, now moves to the Senate, where convicted could remove Duterte from office and bar her from running for the presidency in 2028. The move escalates the feud between the Marcos and Duterte families, once political allies. Duterte denies the charges, calling them politically motivated. The midterm elections in May will serve as a crucial test for both factions. If convicted, she would become the first vice president in the Philippine history to be impeached. The trial date has yet to be set. And then 167 Filipinos and two Chinese nationals were arrested by members of the National Bureau of Investigation on Tuesday in a raid on alleged love scam hub in Makati City that uses artificial intelligence to deceive its victims from parts of Europe and Middle East. The NBI National Police said, it was about to happen. AI is already creeping into our lives, and using AI to scam people is just next logical step for criminals. A lot of times they can basically, even your voice, right? A lot of times if you get a phone call for somebody you think you might recognize, even the voice they can alter basically. All they need is a few sentences, even maybe 1 or 2 minutes, even less of your voice, and they can basically duplicate that, right? So people are calling and say, hey, listen, grandma, grandpa, I'm in need of some money, I'm in trouble. And it's your grandchildren, you want to help them out. They sound similar, familiar. Next thing you know, some dude like this. 167 is a lot of people. And like I've always said, imagine how many smaller groups or individuals are not being caught. And then some quick update regarding the alleged spy Alice Guo. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission discovered the alleged Alice Guo document trail in a travel and consultancy firm after they raided the place on Thursday. According to the executive director, Gilbert Cruz, they will investigate the identity of the names on the documents, particularly that appears to be a foreigner on the passport photo. So it looks like they found some paper trail regarding Alice Guo. That whole case, I'm very curious to see how it resolves. Staying in the Philippines, a 67-year-old taxi driver who was applying for a police clearance was arrested by the Angono police on Tuesday, February 4th, after discovering that he has a standing warrant of arrest for attempting to grape of a 16-year-old in 2015. Whoa. I've always wondered, what is the point of these NBI clearances, police clearances and all that? But, someone that doesn't do anything wrong might find them annoying. But stuff like this is why it happens. And I'm glad they caught this person so many years later. And now let's jump on over to Thailand. A viral video showing a foreigner working as a masseur in Phuket has sparked outrage, highlighting concerns over foreign workers. Is that right? Masseur? Masseur? Sounded weird. That was masseuse. Taking jobs legally reserved for Thais. Under Thailand's emergency decree, certain traditional roles like massage are exclusively for locals to preserve Thai culture and protect the workers. Some argue this is undermining local job opportunities, while others point out the challenge of finding Thai workers for these roles. Foreigners violating these laws face hefty fines and deportation. Yes, once again, certain jobs you cannot do in Thailand, and being a masseuse is one of them. Especially, I don't know if he's, well, obviously he doesn't have a work permit, right? So either way, he's committing a crime, he's breaking the law. Imagine the situation you got to be financially to be working as a massage person, massaging people on the street, especially tourist areas. If you've never been to Thailand, like many other Asian countries, there's massage parlors everywhere. I personally, I don't know why, I'm not a big fan of getting massaged, and I don't like people touching my feet. I feel like, I know you guys are gonna have very different views on this. It's just a personal thing. I don't want to feel like I'm better than somebody. I know that's not the ideology behind it. I understand the cultural thing. I understand it's a job for people, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a masseuse or doing anything. But for some reason, in me, I just don't feel comfortable somebody touching my feet, washing it, clipping it. Actually, one time, here's a small little story. Whatever, I'm gonna say it anyways. The first time I went to Thailand, I think it was 2012, and I was single, I was excited, and this girl was massaging me, washing my feet. Let me backtrack a little bit. I needed to clip my toenails, and I was trying to look for a nail clipper. I couldn't find it, and I seen like a massage place, it said foot massage, and it was only like $3 at the time. I'm like, might as well get the whole thing done. So I sat there the first time getting a massage, and the way this girl was looking at me the whole time in my eyes, my word, I fell in love, man. I'm just like, marry me right now. Backtrack. It's an intimate thing. I just don't like people touching my feet. Is that weird? Leave your comments down below. Do you like massages? Your back, your head, whatever kind of massage, your feet. We all know, let's not talk about the happy ending kind of stuff, because I'm sure ain't nobody against that. But personally, none of that. Don't touch me unless I know you. Is that weird? Next up, the gentleman that's been accused of offing his wife, David Armitage, the British husband suspected in the decades-old case of the Lambuduan Armitage, dubbed with the Lady of the Hills, has been released on conditional bail after his arrest on suspicions of her, passing. Lambuduan's body was discovered in a Yorkshire Dale stream in 2004, but her identity remained unknown until 2019. Yeah, I covered this story, I think, last week regarding this his arrest. So now he's out and about on bail. Next up, U.S. President Donald Trump signs an executive order seeking to ban transgender athletes from participating in women's sports in his latest move targeting transgender people since return to the office. Good. I'm 100% for that. I don't want no man physically or anything. Come on, man. Let's not get into all that. But imagine that's your wife, your daughter, or your sister in a physical sport, basically, against a grown man that thinks he's otherwise. Back to Asia, China has responded to new U.S. tariffs with its own countermeasures, including a 50% tariff on coal and liquefied natural gas and 10% tariff on crude oil, agricultural machinery, and large engine cars. Beijing also announced export restrictions on key minerals critical to high-tech manufacturing. In addition, China launched an antitrust investigation into Google, raising concerns about the Android operating system business practices. Two American firms, PVH Group, owner of Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger, and biotech company Illumina, were also added to China's unreliable entities list. This escalating trade disputes following a pattern of tit-for-tat economic measure between the world's two largest economies. Echoing past tensions, analysis warned that prolonged trade war could hurt global growth, increase U.S. inflation, and put pressure on interest rates. While China's response appears calculated, experts believe both sides are testing the limits of economic retaliation as diplomatic talks loom. Businesses and investors are bracing for further disruptions. Yeah, it's one of those things that I guess only time will tell how this whole thing unravels when it comes to tariffs and different countries. Time for our segment Yesterday Today, where I read some of the most popular comments regarding our previous video. But first, I'd like to show you this visual, and notice there's a lot of new viewers on the channel. So if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. It does motivate me a lot and help to grow the channel. Here's our top comments. Frank Taylor says Canada has already agreed to help with the illegal drug problem with 10K troops and a lot of other supports. The art of the deal, even neighbors can get heated talking about where a fence to be placed between properties. In the end, they agree and share the cost. they're still neighbors and work together and watch each other's backs if necessary. I don't think Canada's the one sending 10,000 troops. I think that's Mexico, but they have come up to some kind of agreement. And as I wrote here, I said, I think 10K troops was Mexico. Apparently, Canada offered the following. Weeks ago, Canada offered 1.3 billion Canadian dollars, 900 million, for border security with packages that included drones, helicopters, more border guards, and the creation of a joint task force. And the Philippines Fandango says, I thought Trudeau was resigning. Yeah, he is. He's just waiting to find the next leader, and apparently it's by March at some point. And Anuj says, and as a Canadian, we are avoiding buying American goods, eh? Orange Fanta, man. I love Orange Fanta. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Share your comments down below. If you take the time to write it, I'll take the time to respond. And don't forget, we have a very healthy community. We can have disagreements just like neighbors, just like in this comment, right? Feel free to share it. And thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.